What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome, more importantly, to this week's informative video. So this year, 2019, marks the 6th year of me training, like actually being into weight training and getting into fitness and all that fun stuff. Feels like just yesterday I was that skinny small kid in class that could only dream of obtaining a lot of muscle and a sick and shredded physique. Two problems with that. One, I'm pretty sure I'm the same height now as what I was 6 years ago. RIP. And two, where the fuck is this physique? But on a more serious note, the topic of today's video is something that I have been thinking about a lot recently. Because I've been in this fitness world for a while now, so stuff like macros, counting calories, how to train, how to structure a training program, when to do cardio, if you need to do cardio, what's a good beginner's workout, how many times should you be training per week? All of this stuff is just second nature to me now, and for everyone that has been doing fitness for a long time, this stuff just becomes second nature. It becomes ingrained into you. You know how to do it, you don't question it, you know what workouts to do, what recovery time you need to do, if you need to do cardio, how to lose weight, how to gain weight. All of this stuff is second nature. And since I started working in a gym environment again, a commercial gym, and interacting with members of the public that are either new or have very little experience into this whole fitness world, you begin to realize, and I have begun to realize, how little people actually know and how vastly distorted their knowledge is and their understanding of fitness is because of things like social media or false marketing or fitness influencers giving misinformation and wrong information. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys and girls 5 helpful tips that you can use when starting the gym, or if you're new to the gym. So let's get into, not the news, the video. That was a Keemstar reference, for all of you that don't know. Yeah, let's just get into the video. So if there's one thing that I'd suggest every single one of you do before you even think about stepping foot into a gym, it's set your goals. Knowing why you want to go into the gym and why you want to go on this fitness journey is very important in terms of keeping you motivated. But knowing what you want to achieve out of it is just as important. So do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Are you training for a specific sport? Do you want to improve a certain aspect of training, like speed, endurance? Do you want to improve your strength? You need to know what you want to achieve out of your gym sessions. Otherwise, it's like getting into a car, starting it, and just driving with no real destination. You're going to waste time, you're going to waste money, you're going to waste your effort, and you're not actually going to have a clear direction of where this car is going, and you're just going to end up back at where you started, spinning your wheels, quite literally. Because each aspect of fitness requires a different method on how you approach it. So if you did want to, let's say, gain some muscle and improve your strength, well, there's no point going on a diet plan and doing a diet program, because it's just gonna be counterintuitive to what you actually want to do. And there's a very basic way of how you can actually set these goals up. Now, I'm a massive fan of writing shit down. I think when you write it down, it becomes more ingrained and you remember it more if you were to just type it or keep it as a note on your phone, because that could be easily forgotten about. And I'm not talking about just sitting down and writing goals for the week and writing whatever you want, because that's a good idea, but it's not specific. And that brings me into SMART. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Now, each 5 of these things, you'll put something relating to your goal, each one of them, to help you achieve it. So let's go through every single one, and I'll give you an example of how I would fill it out if I was writing my own SMART goal. So specific. Specific means what do you exactly want to achieve? Say for example, I wanted to lose weight. My specific goal would not be just to lose weight, because that's generic. The idea is, how much weight do you want to lose? So let's put a numerical number to that specific goal. So rather than just, I want to lose weight, let's say I want to lose 5 kilos. That is my specific goal. I want to lose 5 kilos, not just, I want to lose weight. Measurable means, how can you track this? So with weight loss, there's a few different methods of how you can track your progression. This can be from daily weighings and creating a weekly average and comparing these weekly averages. Obviously, if the weekly average isn't going down and it's going up, you need to adjust your calories. If it's staying the same, you need to adjust your calories. If it's going down, you're on track. Another way is just to physically look in the mirror and see, can you see any noticeable changes on your body? Are you getting leaner? Is your waist tightening up? Are you losing some fat around your arms? Does your face look thinner? Alternatively, are your clothes getting looser? If you use a weight belt, are you needing to tighten that up? Normal belts, do you need to tighten them up? Are your jeans getting looser? Are your tops getting baggier? Do you need to go clothes shopping, essentially? But that is for weight loss. If you wanted to measure your progress in terms of muscle gain and strength progression, you could track your workouts. So every single workout, are you lifting more than you did the previous workout? Are your 1 rep maxes increasing? Are you doing more reps or more sets on a certain exercise? Again, you can just look in the mirror and see if you are physically bigger. You can also tell by your clothes, if your clothes are tightening up as well. If they're getting relatively tight on you, chances are you are gaining. And you also can do the generic, stand on a scale and weigh yourself. If the weight's going up and the body fat is staying relatively low, you're gaining muscle. Fantastic. But there are a ton of different ways that you can measure every single specific goal that you have. I'm not going to go into it now because we could be here for ages. So there's just 2 examples that you guys can use. Obviously, if you are doing something completely unrelated to what I've just explained, Google it. The next is attainable. Now, do not get this confused with the next point, which is realistic. Attainable is more about, is this goal going to challenge you? So every goal you set needs to be challenging you. There's no point of setting a goal that you know you can easily achieve. So if you want to lose weight, there's no point saying, oh, I want to lose 1 kilo, because chances are that's going to be very easy to lose. A more attainable goal would be, I want to lose, again, 5 kilos, back to that specific goal, because 5 kilos is going to challenge you to the fact that you need to adhere to a diet plan more, you need to adhere to your training program more, you need to stick to your macros, you need to stick to your calories, you need to make sacrifices in terms of not going out drinking every weekend, or cutting out certain alcohols, or cutting out certain foods because they're high in calories for a low volume of food. Okay, so attainable is just all about making sure you are progressing in terms of your goals. So that way, every time you do set a new SMART goal, you're making little baby steps that in the moment don't look so big, but when you look at it on a macro scale, okay, when you take a broader view of it, it's a big change over a period of time. And that ties us into our next one, which is realistic. And this all depends on your ability levels. So if you've never ever done any form of fitness before, there is no point setting your goal to be the best basketball player, the best bodybuilder, lose 15 kilos in the space of 2 months. It's unrealistic because your ability level, your lack of knowledge, your lack of experience does incorporate into your ability level, and it's just not there. So you need to make sure that the goals you're setting are within your reach, are capable of what you are able to do. For example, there's no point of me saying, I want to be in the NBA. I'm 5'4". There's no fucking chance I'm going to be an NBA player. Not only that, but I'm shit at every sport that involves a ball. So I know any goal that revolves around getting better at a sport like this is going to be unrealistic to me, because 1, I just don't have the motivation and interest to do it, and 2, I just genuinely am very bad at that sort of coordination, so it's out of my ability, it's out of my range. But if I'm going to keep this consistent to the example that I was setting, a unrealistic goal would be maybe to drop, let's say, 10 kilos in a month and a half, okay? That's unrealistic, that's unobtainable from our abilities. If we extended that to a 3 to 4 month period, now this is when it becomes a realistic goal, and this is when it becomes attainable, because that is going to push us to do better than what we're already doing or what we were doing. And the last one is time or time bound. So we need to set ourselves a deadline for the goals we are setting now, because there's no point saying we want to achieve these goals and that is it, because then we'll have the whole entire year to just think, oh, I can achieve them later, yeah, I can skip this weekend, I can binge on my diet, I can miss a few training sessions. No. We need to set a time frame from where we want to achieve these goals by, so it, 1, keeps you committed, it keeps you dedicated, and it keeps you adhering to the programs that we're setting. It will also make sure that you stay consistent with these goals and you don't fall off or you don't lack in terms of trying to achieve them. So again, back to our example, my goal in this scenario is to lose weight. So I'm going to put a cap of 4 months. Within 4 months, I want to lose these 5 kilos. The thing that lets us do is create some micro and meso goals. If you don't know what these are, I did speak about these in a video a few weeks ago, but long story short, your micro goals are maybe goals that you can set week to week. Your meso goals are goals that you can set month to month, and your macro goal is your overall goal. This would be to lose 5 kilos. Meso goal may be to lose 1.5 kilos per month, and then your micro goals may be, I'm gonna stick to my diet this whole entire week. I'm gonna make sure I get every single training session in this whole entire week and make that a goal every single week, and then it leads into this macro goal, and then you achieve it and everyone lives happily ever after. So when we put this into perspective, what we actually have is our goal is to lose 5 kilos within 4 months. The way that we're gonna track that is to weigh ourselves daily and create a weekly average, and we're also gonna look at ourselves in the mirror to make sure we are noticing some changes. We've also made sure that this goal is realistic and it's obtainable on our ability levels, and we've also made sure we've set that time frame of 4 months, okay? That is the key one, making sure we set that time frame so we have a cap, so we have an area to work within. So just like setting your goals, you're gonna need a training program or a structure that you can follow that can help keep you consistent and adhere to this structure. And there's a few reasons why I believe everyone should be following a training program. So the first, you're gonna be able to track your workouts week to week, and this is gonna help incorporate progressive overload and allow you to know when and if you need to increase it. And what progressive overload means is just applying your body with more metabolic stress week to week. And this could be through doing more sets, doing more reps, increasing weight, improving form. Anything that puts your body under more strain is an improvement. So if you're not tracking your workouts, so you don't have a program that allows you to track your workouts, how are you gonna know when you need to progressively overload? Because you're not gonna be able to track what you did last week, and chances are you'll forget what you lifted last week. So you're gonna be lifting 60 kilos on a bench press last week, and then you may forget and only lift 55 kilos this week. That means you're going down. But then next week you may take up to 65 and you may be really struggling, and you think, well, this training program is just not for me, or this training malarkey is just not for me. It's because you're not tracking your workouts. You don't know how or when to make improvements, even to certain exercises. Secondly, you're gonna have an understanding of what exercises you need to incorporate. So if I just went into the gym and decided I was working back and biceps, and I did like 7 back exercises and 1 bicep exercise, I wouldn't realize I was doing that at all, unless it was on a piece of paper and I'm like, oh, maybe I should add a few more bicep exercises in here because I'm only doing 1 throughout this whole workout. And it's also gonna help sure that you train everything equally, because you could have 5 exercises that target the exact same muscle group in no different angles, no different changes of tempo, nothing, which means you're just overtraining that specific muscle, and it could cause to imbalances within that muscle. And not only that, but we want to make sure that when we're going into the gym, we're maximizing every single angle, every single variation of an exercise that we can do. And thirdly, if you're writing up a program, you can also write countermeasures. So if you go into the gym and a machine is taken that you want to use, you can just look at your program, think, right, I can't do pull-ups at the moment because someone's on the bar, but lat pull-downs are on here, and lat pull-downs and pull-ups do the exact same thing. So I'll go work on lat pull-downs and do that as like a pre-activation exercise and warm-up, and then when they're done on the pull-ups, I can go over there. So that way you're not thinking, oh crap, they're doing pull-ups, what can I do? And you're just waiting there, staring at this person doing pull-ups, waiting for them to finish. You'll look like a fucking creep. Trust me, I've done it, and unfortunately, I still look like a creep. But honestly, since I've started writing my own training programs up, my workouts have been so much more effective because I've been able to structure them properly, I've been able to track progression properly, and it just allows me to make sure that I'm adhering to my programs. And if one of your issues is you don't know how to write up a training program, I'll show you how I do mine. Basically, it looks like this. So I have my warm-up at the top, right? I have the name of my exercises that I'm going to be doing, how many sets, how many reps, my rest times, and I've got 4 boxes where I can write in how much weight for how many reps I've lifted on each exercise, and then I've got a note section that I can write like if there's any pain or if I can't feel a good engagement or if I don't like that exercise, and it's that simple. Just if you're doing a back and bicep day, just literally pick 3 or 4 back exercises that target different angles. Pick 2 different bicep exercises, maybe one that targets the peak of your bicep and one that targets your brachus radialis, which runs from your forearm up to the side of your arms. That sounds very weird. So yeah, if you want to structure your own training programs, just take a screenshot of this, hopefully it's in focus, and copy it, okay? Plagiarism, not all bad. Man, so fucking funny. So the gym can be such an empowering place, spending hours a day improving yourself and becoming a better version of who you are and becoming who you want to be, but it can also come with its negatives and its downsides. And unfortunately, this is one of them. Comparing yourself to someone else that is far ahead of the journey than you are. Okay, so it's very easy for someone new to the gym to not only feel intimidated going into the gym, but to also feel very low in their self-esteem when they see the type of people that are in these gyms. Okay, you go in there and you see these meatheads that are muscly, that are lifting a heavy amount of weight, that are having a laugh with their friends, that look really comfortable doing their exercises, and they just look confident being in the gym. And then you walk in and you don't know how to do any of these exercises, you don't really know what you're doing 100%, you feel very shy and intimidated with this environment because you're new to it and everyone feels like it. And then you look at these people and you start to think, well, why aren't I like them? Why can't I be like them? Why aren't I lifting as much weight as them? Why can't I feel as confident and as comfortable in the gym as they are? And it's because you've got to realise that they've been doing this for years, but everyone started where you are starting now. If you are new to the gym, I started there, okay? I am 5'4". I am not the biggest of blokes considering how long I've been training for, but when I go into the gym, it's fine. I feel comfortable, I feel confident, and that comes with experience and it comes with time. It's very normal for everyone to feel like that at the beginning, okay? Especially with the fact that you've got social media like Instagram, you've got Facebook, you're seeing all these posts about people that look absolutely amazing. Wow, let me tell you this, Instagram lies to you all the time. These fitness models, these fitness influencers that you look up to so much, that you want to look like and you want to be, yeah, chances are that upload that you're eyeballing so much, yeah, that is one photo out of 999 others that didn't have the perfect lighting, the perfect angle, the correct exposure, okay? They've taken 1,000 photos, they've picked one, okay? That's not realistic and that's not true. And that's not something you should be comparing yourself to. All of these people, especially on social media, are the 1%. You've started following the 1% of fitness icons, or whatever you want to call them, and you're trying to compare yourself to them, okay? These people that have been doing it for years, these people that may or may not be on steroids, that may be using enhancement products, that you are not, yeah, of course you're not gonna look like that. You don't have the same physiology, you do not have the same biology, your genetics are definitely gonna be different from person to person. But let's bring this back down to the basic level of you walking into the gym and wanting to be like everyone else that you see in there that is in shape. Because you can compare yourself to other people, but there is only one person that it matters to, and that's yourself. Are you more consistent with the gym than you were last week? Are you lifting more than you were last week? Do you look better than you did a month, 2 months, a year ago? Is your understanding of all these exercises improving? Is your form improving? Do you feel more comfortable and confident coming into the gym now than you did a month ago? This is the stuff that matters. It doesn't give a shit what Dave's lifting over there or what fucking Patrick's deadlifting over there. These are the weirdest fucking names. It matters what you and only you are doing. Are you doing better than you were previously? Are you making those progressive steps in the right direction? If not, then yeah. Then yes, you can feel down about it, but all you've got to do is realise where you've made the mistake, get back on the horse, and carry on. There's no point comparing yourself to other people, because everyone else has a different situation, different biological makeup to you, a different genetic makeup to you. You're never gonna look like someone else. You are going to look like yourself. Don't try and be another David Lade. Be the first you. I actually stole that from a movie trailer coming out this year with The Rock in. It's called Family Something. It's about wrestling. Thanks, Dwayne. Okay, so I haven't really written anything down for this tip because everything we've covered so far links onto this. This is a culmination of understanding that you need to set yourself goals. You need to make sure that you are comparing yourself to yourself, okay? When it comes to fitness and when it comes to any sort of anything in life, it doesn't have to just be fitness, whether it comes with work, whether it comes with learning a new language, learning a new skill. You need to understand that you're not going to do this overnight. You're not going to do this over the next fortnight. You're not even going to do this over the next month. This is a marathon, not a sprint. That's something Gary Vee loves to say, but he has a point. A lot of people expect quick results. They expect to earn more money straight away. They expect to gain a six-pack within 6 days of doing crunches every single night, and that's not how it works. Because there's no telling how long it's going to take. It could take a month, it could take a week, it could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take 10 years. Doesn't matter. If your goal is your goal, then you need to make sure that you're staying consistent to your goal, you're adhering to your goal, you're tracking the progression to your goal, and you need to make sure that you're not just trying to grab these quick rewards every single week. Take me again, for example, prepping for this show, okay? I've done a 4-month diet for this show, considering I was already in relatively good shape at the beginning of this diet, at the beginning of this prep, but I understand that it's been a month. I've seen slight changes, but I haven't got a six-pack, okay? I've got another 2 months to go for that, 2-3 months to go for that. Just don't feel bad the fact that you don't see instant results. They will come over time, and when they do, you'll feel very satisfied. I get it. As a short individual myself, whose only redeeming quality is his strength, I understand what it's like to walk into a gym full of meatheads, lifting an insane amount of weight and thinking, I have to lift the same in order to keep up with these people. But here's the secret, you don't. I can recall a time within the first 1 or 2 years of my training where all I focused on was lifting as much weight as possible, and I didn't really care how it affected my body or if my body was in pain doing these exercises, because I always thought that was normal. Okay, I always thought if I was sore, if I was aching, if I was in pain, if my joints hurt, if my arms hurt the next day, then I was doing something right. And I was drastically wrong, because these are all bad signs. Unless you get DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, which happens like 1 or 2 days after training, that's fine, okay? But you should never be in pain after doing any exercise whatsoever. So I remember I tried deadlifting like 100 kilos like the first few months into my training, and I did it very poorly. I arched my back to shit, and the next day I woke up with a really, really stinging pain, a stabbing sensation in my lower back, and I thought, oh, this is fine, this guy's doing deadlifts, that's the muscle that it's supposed to be targeting. That's fantastic, I've done it right. But I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit down, I couldn't sleep properly for like the week after. And that is not normal, that's not fine. That means you're lifting with incorrect form. And basically what form is, it's your positioning, your body posture, and your ability to control the weight and incorporate and effectively target the correct muscle groups that exercise is trying to target. So for example, if you're trying to do a bench press and you had correct form, you would mainly be targeting your pectoral muscles as your main drivers, and then you may feel some slight fatigue in your front delts and your triceps as they are secondary or antagonist muscle groups towards your chest. But if you're doing this with an incorrect form, and what I mean by this is bringing your shoulders in line with your arms on the negative of every rep, this can cause pain in your shoulders and lead to injury, and that is not fine. There's a difference between feeling fatigued and sore and feeling in pain due to an exercise. And one of the reasons why I continued to do this despite the fact that I was in pain and that I was hurting is because I was always under the impression that in order to gain muscle or get big, I needed to be feeling like this. I needed to try and lift as much weight as possible, because that's the only way that I'm gonna get big, okay? It doesn't matter how I was lifting it or what I was lifting, it just mattered how much I was lifting, and the more I was lifting, the more I would gain. And 4 years on from that, I have learned how detrimental this can be to you in the future, and how wrong I really was when it came to approaching it in this way. Because if you don't focus on form, okay, and you don't focus on how to correctly control these exercises, okay, because that's the main idea of it. You want to make sure that when you're doing these exercises, you are controlling the weight and the weight isn't controlling you, okay? You don't want to be doing a bench press where you're bouncing the weight up like this and you're just trying to get the weight up. You're trying to shift it and not lift it, as Lex Griffin would say, okay? Or if you're doing lat pull downs that you're just coming down and letting the weight fly up. You need to make sure every aspect of these lifts are controlled, and you need to make sure that your body positioning is in the correct placement to target these muscle groups more effectively, so you're not wasting your time and you're preventing yourself from, one, creating a bad foundation, which we'll touch on in a minute, and two, leading to injuries, which I unfortunately have had happen to me. Okay, so whenever I lift or whenever I do a bench press now, because of how I was lifting before, I have a very weird sensation in my left shoulder that if I don't warm up correctly, it hurts days later, and it leaves me not being able to do any chest or sort of pushing movements for at least 2 to 3 days, and that's just not DOMS, that is just from a previous injury of lifting with very poor form. And then onto the topic of bad foundations, doing these exercises and just focusing on lifting as much weight as possible and not focusing on controlling it and lifting with good form, it can lead to very bad habits that take months, and I mean months, to really drill out and fix. And this is just time that is wasted. If you spent a week at the beginning of your training program or your training or your lifting journey focusing on form and lifting correctly, you would not have to spend a month, 2 months now fixing those problems that occurred because you were just too busy lifting with your ego and you weren't focused on lifting correct amount of weights for yourselves. Now, one of the big questions that I do get asked, and is a good question to ask, is how much weight should I be lifting? Like, how do I know if I'm lifting too little or if I'm lifting too much? Well, one, you can easily tell if you're lifting too much because it will hurt. You will not be able to control the weight. You'll be utilizing every or any muscle group to try and get the weight up, and you won't be feeling it in the targeted area. Again, let's take bench press for example. If you're not feeling it in your chest and you're feeling it in your forearms and your shoulders and your triceps, mainly over your chest, chances are you're lifting too heavy, especially if your arse is coming up off that bench. So when it comes to selecting a weight that you want to lift, there's 2 variations that you can go by. You can start by going light and progressively building up to what you would assume or what you would come to later known as your working weight, and this is weight where we can start to incorporate progressive overload onto week to week. Now that takes a little bit of time because obviously you're gonna be, if you're only training 3 times a week and you're only training one muscle group once per week, it's going to take you a few months to realize what that working weight is, or a few weeks. Or you can go online to a 1 rep max calculator where it will ask you details about yourselves, and then it would spit you out like an estimated 1 rep max. And then what you would do is you would go in, you'd attempt this 1 rep max, and obviously if you need to lighten it, you lighten it. If you need to increase it, you need to increase it. This only usually takes about like 1 to 2 weeks to figure out, and then all you would do is work within, if you're working on hypertrophy and muscle growth, you would work between, I think it's 60 to 75% of this 1 rep max. So if your 1 rep max was 100 kilos, you would do work in sets of 60 to 75 kilos, or if it was strength, you would be going 80 to 95% of this 1 rep max. So again, for this example, you'd be lifting 80 to 95 kilos, and the rep ranges would change. This would be more like 4 to 6 rep ranges, whereas your hypertrophy or muscle building range would be like 8 to 12. So if there's one thing that you can gain out of this whole entire video, it is this point here. Make sure that you're not lifting with your ego and you're lifting with correct form, because 1, it's going to give you a good foundation to start from. 2, it's going to prevent any injuries or long-lasting injuries to yourselves. And 3, it's going to save you a lot of time in trying to correct these problems in the future. So don't make them now, okay? Do not make them now, okay? Well, I've done that. I'm an example of why not to do it. because it's only gonna impact and impede your future and cause detrimental effects leading onwards. So that brings us to the end of this week's informative video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, hope you guys learned something from it, and I hope these points can be taken away and implemented into your training in order to help you guys if you are new to the gym or lifting in general. And in the future, I'm thinking of making the exact same video I've done here, but basing it around nutrition rather than just training. So if that's something you guys want to see, leave a like, leave a comment. If you guys want any more tips, comment them down in the description below. And if you guys have any SMART goals and you are thinking of writing your own SMART goals, leave them in the description, because I'd love to know what you guys are up to and what you guys hope to achieve within the next few months. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next week. And just before we go, I did release a podcast this previous Saturday, all about confidence, and I was joined with my friend Dave Harradine, so make sure you go give that a watch. It's 50 minutes of pure entertainment and sexiness from Dave himself. I bring it down, I'm really sorry, but I'll see you in the next video. Have a good week, guys, and peace. Anyway, I'm not fucking saying this. Anyway, I've been Muscle Hamster Mooney, and I'm out.